I hope that you are as proud to be here as we are to have you here. My name is Stephen Blatty. I am the Director of University Honors, and it's a thrill to see so many of you with us. Those of you who have been with us for a while, maybe seen a few presentations from a number of programs, congratulations on sticking it out. I'd like to say that you have made your way to the best of the presentations that you will see. We are excited to share with you a bit about University Honors, and we're particularly excited to give you an opportunity to hear from a number of students we have with us tonight. So, with that by way of welcome, let me hand things over to our associate director, one of our associate directors, Migdalia Maldonado, who I think is going to introduce you or invite our student reps to introduce themselves. Migdalia?
Good evening, everyone. Like Dr. Blotty said, this is really an opportunity for you guys to hear from our students. So we'll start that off by asking them to introduce themselves, and then we'll have the staff that's present here to introduce themselves as well. We'll start with Madeline.
Hi, my name is Madeline Benfer. I'm a freshman here in University Honors, and I'm a biochemistry major.
Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I am a junior here and I'm an animal science pre-veterinary major.
Hi,
Hi, oh, go.
sorry, you can go ahead.
I'm Cassidy. I'm a senior and I'm double majoring in finance and international business.
Hi, I'm Yara, and I'm a junior majoring in biology on the pre-med track.
Hi, my name is Abby. I'm a sophomore and I'm majoring in cell biology and genetics as well as Spanish.
I think we have one more. Kate.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Oedeli. I am a freshman physiology and neurobiology major.
Awesome. Along with the number of students, we have a number of staff that help in executing the program. I'll start with Chelsea.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chelsea Bradford. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Assistant Director for Student Life at the University Honors, and I'm a UMD and University Honors alum.
Hello, everyone. I am Dario Middleton, Assistant Director for Academic Life with University Honors. Happy to see you all here today.
Go ahead and pass it back to Dr. Blotty.
All right. Well, I think you have caught a glimpse already into a number of aspects of our program, one of which is our size. We have the size staff we have, and the size faculty we do because we are the largest of the living learning programs at the University of Maryland in the Honors College. And I think you also caught a glimpse just in hearing from our students who are with us the breadth of areas of study and areas of interest that our students have. That breadth of interests, that breadth of areas is reflected in our faculty who come to us quite literally from every academic college and school at the University of Maryland. Represented in our faculty are experts from every college and school on the campus. And in addition, our faculty come to us from off campus. So one of the things that is, I think, really cool about University Honors is that, and you see some of this reflected in the images in front of you, we work with faculty who have day jobs in DC, folks who work in the State Department, folks who have worked in the White House, folks who work in all kinds of government agencies, who take time to come to campus and kind of provide a window into their areas of expertise. We work, you see here, some partners of ours in the Piscataway community, indigenous population in Maryland, who we work with. We work with a really wide array of faculty experts, and though that expertise is what is available to you in the courses that we offer. We are in some ways kind of like a small liberal arts college within a large research university. And I think you see that reflected in the faculty profiles that offer the coursework that you'll have at your disposal. Let me say one thing about, maybe we can advance the slide. I'll say one thing about the curriculum. There's a lot to share about how our curriculum works and how the program works. I think at this stage, as you have been admitted to the university and to the Honors College and are just kind of getting a flavor of these programs that you have to choose among, I won't go into all of the gruesome detail about how all of that works, and I'm sure you'll have questions, and our students will give you some answers. Mr. Middleton, who's our kind of in-house advisor, which is a really special thing that we're able to offer our students, he can answer some questions that you might have about our curriculum. But I think you can think of it most easily as unfolding in three phases. So the first phase is a course, it's a one-credit course that all first semester freshmen in UH take. We call it Gateway Seminar. This is a kind of orientation to the university, orientation to the program, and orientation in some ways to yourself and to your evolving interests and passions. The third phase, I'll skip the second in a second for the moment. The third phase we call Vantage Point Seminar. That is a 2-credit course that you will typically take in your 4th or 5th semester. So your 2nd semester of your sophomore year or the 1st semester of your junior year. And that is a course sort of taking place right in the middle of your time at the university that is at kind of a key inflection point as you both kind of take stock of your first couple of years at the university, take stock of what you have done in UH, take stock of what you came in with thinking you were going to study. Maybe that course has changed a little bit, and you're beginning to think about how you're going to manage the second half of your time at the university. Vantage Point Seminar is an opportunity to do that, both to reflect backwards, take stock of where you are, and figure out what you're going to do, what passion projects you're going to pursue, whether you're thinking about study abroad or internships or all kinds of the activities, research opportunities that the university offers. In the middle will be 12 credit hours of really the heart, the kind of meat and potatoes of our curriculum. This is where you get to explore that array of coursework and get exposed to that array of expertise that I was describing a moment ago. This is really a space, and I really encourage our students to seize this opportunity to explore courses, explore ideas, explore things that you've not encountered before that might be unfamiliar. Yes, they satisfy general education requirements. Yes, they might be in areas that are maybe adjacent to your major, but they can often be courses that you would otherwise have no opportunity to take. And one of the things that I am forever at pains to impress on our incoming students is, in a time when you are focused on a 4-year plan and a major and a professional career, not to lose sight of the opportunity that not just any university, but a first-class research university like the University of Maryland has to offer. These are specially designed courses that are just for university honors students, and it is really your opportunity to explore. And those opportunities, I'm sure those among our students who are juniors and seniors, they will tell you that you get into your major coursework, and I know Katie's thinking about vet school, and you're sort of you've got your eyes on that prize. Those opportunities come by less often than we would like, and so this is your chance to kind of chart your own path. Our curriculum is not one that unfolds in lockstep. We really value flexibility here. A lot of these courses you can take in any sequence you like. They are often grouped by, or they are always grouped by a cluster theme or a track theme. They are related in that way, but they are courses that are offered from a particular disciplinary perspective. And as I say, you have a lot of flexibility in which ones you choose during those first couple of years at the university, in addition excuse me, to the work that you're doing in your major. So that's about as high level summary as I can get, and we can get into the gory details as we go. But with that, let me invite Chelsea to tell you a little bit about our House Cup.
Yes. So something that's really unique in University Honors is our houses and our House Cup competition program. So University Honors has 4 houses, Altair, Denebola, Elton, and Inshallah. And these houses are named after navigational stars. Our houses provide the opportunity for our students to take the big UH program and make it a little bit smaller. So that gateway class, that introductory class you're in is also your house. And you're going to be the students in that class with you are in your house. You're going to do competitions together. You're going to do activities together, like the climbing wall here. And you're just going to build a little bit of a smaller community within our larger community. You compete in the competition year round. You get points for just doing things around campus, and you can submit those points for merch that we have with the UH logo on it. And at the end of the year, a house with the most points is engraved on our House Cup trophy, which you can see on the screen here. Am I missing anything, Kate? Anything you'd like to share as one of our first year students who is currently competing in our House Cup competition?
Yeah, I think Chelsea pretty much summed it up, but essentially you can log, points for basically a lot of different activities. So academic events, or if you attend any tutoring sessions, or any campus events like club meetings, or even physical activity. I know I've logged points for sleeping at some point, so that's something you can do. And it's just, for me, it's been a way for me to find a smaller community of friends, and also earn prizes.
Yeah. So next, we're going to let Katie talk about some of the lifelong friendships and opportunities that UH provides our students.
Yeah, so for starters, one of my biggest things coming into University Honors was I knew that through my classes they were going to be much smaller in size, so automatically you're making bonds there. My current roommate, who I've lived with for the past couple of years, I actually met her during my freshman year, one of my University Honors courses. So I have a lifelong friend right there. But through some of the leadership opportunities that we offer here, you also have an opportunity to create some of those closer bonds in a more professional environment. So I'll kind of go through the different options that we have. So we have 3 different programs that you all can join if you wish. You'll have to apply, and it depends on the semester when you do so. But for our first one, we have Student Life Council, also known as SLC. And their main goal is to deepen and diversify student engagement through innovative programming, events, and initiatives. So essentially, they make fun events such as Jeopardy! Trivia Night and UH Formal to encourage students in UH to bond with one another outside of the classroom. So you can gain friendships either going to their events or being a part of Student Life Council and organizing these events. Another organization which I'm in is the University Honors Student Board. And essentially what we do is collaborate with staff for various strategic program initiatives and advocate for the UH student population. So we do more of the academic side of things. We provide feedback to Dr. Blotti about clusters and course organization. We also host leadership workshops, which we have one that is upcoming in March. We also host the UH award ceremony, which occurs later on in April. And then we host other events such as Snacks with Staff, where we did a breakfast with Blotty, where students are able to come and talk with some of the UH staff, either more informally or a little bit more formally about some of their concerns that they have for the program, or just getting to know one another. And then finally, we have PALs, which are peer academic leaders, and they are there to mentor and guide all incoming freshmen in their Gateway course, which is your University Honors Intro class. So this is the course that you take before you enter any of your clusters. And it's a much smaller group of students, but essentially a PAL is there to mentor you and walk you through that first fall semester. So they're going to support you in your academic, social, and personal challenges of the first year of UH, just because it can be a little overwhelming starting college. And they also get you acclimated to the UH curriculum and the spirit of the House Cup competition. So through all of these positions, you not only gain leadership roles, but you also are able to build friendships among those who are a part of it or by attending the events that these organizations hold.
Thank you, Katie. I just wanted to add one other opportunity that we have, which I think we really launched this year, was the advising mentors. They work in conjunction with Mr. Middleton to really help the UH population set their courses onto how our curriculum fits into their curriculum, their major curriculum. So that's also an opportunity where if you are looking for a leadership opportunity, you can apply to that. But it is a way to give back to the UH community and making sure that everybody has their own path and knows how to get there to get through to the citation. So, and Mr. Middleton could probably talk a little bit more about that when we open it up to questions and answers, but thank you for that. Our next thing that we want to talk about is hopefully try to connect everything that we just talked about, right? So on this slide is our UH vision, right? We hope to foster connection through the Gateway courses, through the community events that SLC will have, also through the house competition, right? Every year we've had a ropes course where we encourage people to get active, but also get some points. We hope you seek complexity and you explore your uncertainty through your coursework, right? You're going to go through your clusters, you're going to explore that professor's passion through the cluster coursework, but you're also going to have some co-curricular opportunities available to you to get you outside of the class and into an actual experience that is related to your course. So we hope you do that through those different opportunities. And then we hope you realize your potential by contributing responsibly, right? So maybe taking up one of these leadership opportunities as a PAL or as an SLC member, finishing up your coursework with Vantage Point, right? There's a project there where you explore what you are interested in, and really find how you want to navigate the rest of your time here at the University of Maryland after you complete your honors citation. So those are ultimately the goals we have for you with University Honors. At this point, we really want you guys to have an opportunity to talk to our students and ask all the questions that you have. Have a plethora of majors here involved in UH in very many different ways, but also involved on campus. So I'm going to stop here and give us some time to ask any questions that you may have. I'm not sure. Let me stop. Yeah. Questions? Anyone? I think I'll start off for some of our student reps. And if each of you can maybe talk about an interesting cluster course that you've taken or a track course that you've taken with UH.
I can go first.
Go ahead and start.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say one of the most interesting courses that I did, and I think it's expired by now, but essentially we learned about agriculture and farming, which I'm not from that background at all. So we got to grow different types of crops in the greenhouse that is by the Xfinity Center. We learned about the process of farming, and we got to take home some of our crops at the end of it. But I'm an animal science major. It kind of correlates, but also I would never have taken a class like that through my major or honestly anywhere else outside of UH.
Currently, I'm actually in an artificial intelligence cluster. I'm in the second class right now, and it's really interesting. I think it like really applies to right now what's going on in the world, and it's also a little bit different from my major, so it kind of gives me a break from like my major classes. But it's definitely really interesting, and I've enjoyed it so far.
I'm in the butterfly effects cluster right now, and the course I actually took, which is the required course, the I series, for that cluster, I took last semester. It was called Globalizing the American Revolution. And essentially each week we would learn about a different aspect of the like American Revolution history, but related to a different part of the world. So, for example, we talked about one week how the Revolutionary War affected life in Ireland. Another week, we talked about the whole war theater that happened in the Caribbean Sea. And as I mentioned, I'm a biology major, so I don't have a lot of space in my regular classes for these kind of like history or more humanities-based ones. And I think in general, like the lectures are just super interesting, more of a unique kind of niche topic that you don't really find in a lot of other classes that are offered outside of UH, which I personally really liked.
I'll add quickly. I was in an information weaponization class. This is going back a few years, but sort of we looked at different how different information was used, and part of that was also finding good, credible sources. And one thing at a college campus like UMD, we actually like there's a lot of services the library offers that companies pay tons of money to get access to this research, and we get it all for free. So these courses, and that one specifically, really helped me realize all these sort of resources I have out that we have out there. And then I sort of have continued to use those sources throughout my 4 years here.
Yeah, for me, I completed one of the courses in the science and fiction cluster last semester, and I believe it was called The Picture of Health and Illness, Modern Medicine and Illustration. And I would say by far it was one of my favorite classes I've taken. We talked about health and medicine through like medical illustrations over the years. And I really liked how interactive and like heavy discussion based it was. And I'm not personally a history person, but this course incorporated art, history, and just knowledge in general in such an insightful way. I really enjoyed taking that class.
I took a cluster on redesigning life. And what I found very interesting was that even though I am a biology major and I've learned a lot about genetics, we talked about the ethics of genetic editing, especially in terms of disabilities and how it's portrayed in the media. So I thought it was a really interesting way to learn more about um, the ethics of what I'm interested in and what I hope to do in the future. And it was also really cool. We got to watch some movies and TV shows and analyze them through a disabilities lens. So I never thought I'd be watching Divergent for a class and then preparing a whole slideshow on the ethics and the implications of what was happening. So it was just a really fun, but also educational course.
Okay, I have some questions. Feel free to answer. Is UH a research-based program like Gemstone or HGLOW? We're gonna give our reps an opportunity to answer that, and then we'll step in as needed. Okay, Doctor.
Sorry.
Go for it, Abby. Yeah.
So I would say that research in some way, at least in a lot of the classes I've taken for UH, is kind of intrinsic to a lot of the work that we're doing because it is a lot of discussion based. I've personally had a lot of presentations. For example, in the first university honors class I took, I had to write a paper and give a presentation, do interviews on some sort of social service that worked to benefit the lives of children in the area. So I did a little bit of research and reached out to some of the people at a local elementary school who we actually run a tutoring program through University of Maryland Scholars that works with kids at the elementary school. So I would say yes, that there is research that you will be doing in classes, and I think a lot of the tasks and assignments that you get do help to build better research skills, like someone mentioned earlier, finding credible sources, writing papers, and things like that.
I'm going to chime in here for a second because I've seen a number of questions in the chat about future clusters, and I think you've heard reference a couple of times in our students' answers to the fact that one cluster or another might no longer be offered. And I just want to say something about that. So part of the idea of these groups of classes that we put together, these thematically related, very bespoke, very much reflective of faculty research passions and expertise. Part of the idea is that they are constantly churning because the issues of the day are constantly developing. And so the idea is that we put these clusters together. They are available to students to take for a period of 2 years, and then they cycle out. And every year we cycle out 4 clusters and we cycle in 4 new clusters. So the clusters that you see, I think maybe it was Mr. Middleton or someone included a link to the web page that shows you the clusters that we're offering right now. If you look, you'll see that half of those 8 clusters are going to end at this semester, the end of the 24-25 academic year, and there will be a new set that it gets introduced beginning this fall. Half of the clusters that we currently have on offer are just coming to the end of their first year, and they'll be reprised for another year next year. So if you look at those clusters that are offered through 2026, you could choose from those 4 clusters, or you could choose from the 4 new clusters that will be announced later this spring. And I can't tell you what those are going to be because that is a closely guarded secret in UH, and we time the announcement of those new clusters very carefully. But it won't be long here in another few weeks, and we'll be announcing those new themes that will be on offer now from the fall of 25 through the spring of 27, if I've got that correctly. So that's just a little inside baseball in how those clusters get put together and the lifespans that they have. That's different than our theory and practice tracks, which are set to kind of run in perpetuity. So you should also look at the tracks page to see some of those course opportunities as well.
There's a question, University Honors, is University Honors a 4-year long program?
Yeah, so I can answer that one. So University Honors isn't a 4-year long program in the sense that you're taking classes all 4 years. You have about 2 years of coursework, which you can really split up however you want, kind of like they mentioned in the beginning, that last seminar that you take to wrap things up that can either fall the end of your sophomore year or the beginning of your junior year. But what I really liked about University Honors was that those first 2 years while I was adjusting, I had a lot of courses where I learned about how to think in creative and more analytical ways that I hadn't before. And that really helped me when it came to now junior year in my classes I'm taking now. They're not necessarily UH. And another thing is that even though you might only be taking courses for about 2 years, UH is available and open to help you for your entire 4 years. So even now I'm a junior and I already completed my seminar, but I'm still coming back and excited to talk to all you prospective students about my experience. And there's still ways to get involved, like we talked earlier, in leadership, the Student Leadership Committee, or on other committees that help more on the backside of UH. So while it's not necessarily taking courses, you can be as involved as you want those last years as well.
Is there a pre-med track? Oh, how do we want to take that question?
I could also speak about this since I'm pre-med. There's no specific pre-med track, but what I liked about UH is that because it's so multidisciplinary and there's so many different cluster options, I was able to both take a cluster that was more about like genetics and ethics and science, but also I took one about like the history of slavery in Maryland and about the infrastructure of the internet. So I like that you're able to take classes or courses that might relate to your major or that completely don't. And again, being pre-med, you have all of your biology requirements and chemistry requirements, science requirements. While the UH classes don't fulfill those requirements, they do fulfill the majority of your general education courses. So that's how it was most helpful to me because I was able to split my classes between my biology pre-med prerequisites and then also my UH courses that also filled gen ed. So it was very easy to put them both, even with such a um, demanding 4-year plan, if that makes sense.
Thank you. There's a question about talking about student study abroad and internship opportunities.
I mean, I can talk quickly about study abroad. So I actually did 2 semesters abroad, and I saw another question regarding if clusters count for gen ed requirements. And yes, they do, which is really helpful because it allows you sort of to, take your honors classes and fulfill that while still working towards your degree. So I was actually able to not fall behind at all, which still gave me the opportunity to study abroad by just taking sort of my gen eds in what I would describe as a more engaging way, because that's sort of what you get with these UH cluster classes. But study abroad is definitely something I'd recommend for everyone. If you're in honors, it does not limit you at all from going abroad. Um, it's a great opportunity. A lot of the people I actually met in honors, I ended up going abroad with, and were in my classes abroad. So then you just see that whole connection again of how, you make these connections and then they really last you around the world.
There's another question like IBH and ACEs. Are there any internship or research requirements for UH? I'm
Let me just
assuming
add
that
to that.
Rex is UH.
Let me add to that last question.
Hmm.
We also, with regards to study abroad, we have our internal university honors and Oxford program that we recently launched. That's actually part of our theory and practice track. So every summer, what we plan to do is invite students to go abroad to Exeter and Oxford to study for the summer. And as a result, they earn credits for one of the tracks, the theory and practice tracks that we offer.
There was internship and research requirements for UH. I'm assuming REQS is requirements. That's what I'm saying. Um,
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Like IBH and ACEs, are there any internship or research requirements for UH?
There are no internship requirements, but there are internship opportunities, many that we share. But one of we partner with the Federal Fellows Program, and as part of this program, students have an opportunity to participate in I call it a high-profile internship in the DC area. So participating in the Fellows Program, students are required to take 2 courses. One is a course at the university, usually with someone who um, works from DC and visits UH. And the second part of the course is an internship somewhere in DC. And we call them high profile internships because they're typically hard to get. But as a student in this program, part of Federal Fellows in UH, is easily accessible.
Thank you. How does UH help for computer engineering majors? I don't think we don't have any engineer majors right now, do we? On here?
I don't think so, but I think this goes back to like I'm a business major and none of my classes, frankly, had to do with business. But I think the bigger point with a lot of these classes is they give you a lot of skills outside of just learning about, the arts or information or the news. You're learning how to do good research. One of my classes was about deliberation. It really got me comfortable speaking in my class. So I think some of these soft skills are really crucial, and that also helps you a lot when it comes time to start looking for jobs. So I wouldn't necessarily say directly you're going to have a class that's focused on computer engineering. I will say in the Vantage Point class, and that's sort of the last one you take, you really have the opportunity to work on a project in whatever field you want. And that sort of can be your opportunity to decide, maybe to do a project that's more related to computer engineering and can also benefit you.
I think maybe the students will agree. A lot of the courses that you're taking with us are giving you a different way of looking at your major, right? You're gaining a different perspective. You're not just focused on one thing that you're going to be focused on junior and senior year, right? You're hopefully entering your junior and senior year with a different perspective because of the UH classes that you decide to enroll in.
Mhm. And I'll add to that, sometimes we've seen that a UH course that a student completed um, helped them to decide on a new major and influenced them in that way. The new information made them want to major in an alternative major.
Or even double major. We have
Mhm.
a lot of UH students that double major and manage to balance it all out and still get their citation while meeting all the requirements for both their majors. A lot will major and minor. Some will even get certificates. So it goes back to what Dr. Blotti was saying with the flexibility. There's a lot of things that can be done within our curriculum. What are the class sizes typically?
Yeah, I can answer that. So it really depends on what classes you're signing up for. I would say that the required courses in the cluster will typically have around 50 to 60 students. They're a little bit larger, but mostly they don't tend to grow any larger than that. Whereas some of the smaller courses where you have a little bit more flexibility choosing between what you want to take within that cluster will have usually no more than about 20 students. So that's a really nice thing. You get to know your classmates, work closely with them. And again, that's how I met a couple of my closest friends that I have, been with in college so far.
Thank you, Katie.
And I'll just add to that too for the students that are listening. So she said required courses, and every cluster has a course within it that is the required course for the cluster. And then the second course, you have an option to choose between any other courses that are offered in that cluster. So it's that required course that is the one that's typically about 50 or 60 students, and the other courses about 20.
And we are not expecting you to learn all this tonight,
Mhm.
this instant. I promise you there are plenty of opportunities, especially during orientation, where we break it down and make sure that you understand how to exactly get your citation with us. So we have a little bit more time. If there are any other questions, please put them in the question and answers. I really wanted to talk about our space. So at University of Honors, we have a big suite that gives us the space to host our 2 classes, which are usually our gateway classes. And it also provides space for university honor students to utilize them. So if any of the reps can unmute and maybe talk how you have used the UH Commons and let us know where it is.
I can talk about this a little bit. So something that I actually really liked about, or I like about the UH Commons was its location, which is right under the Yehentemitsi Dining Hall, which is in our quad near Johnson Whittle and Pyeongchang, which are our freshman dorms for UH freshmen. I lived in Pyeongchang myself last year, and I loved being so close to Yehentemitsi as well as the UH Commons. Not only is that a really convenient space to have our gateway class, which is a very important part of our curriculum, but also I just used it as a really nice study space. I find that often it's not super crowded, it's very quiet. There's really nice amenities, like there's like 4 bathrooms right there in your study space. You have multiple different seating options with tables and everything, and it's just a really good gathering space in general. The events that the Student Life Council also holds, like I've been to a bingo night, and then I also did flower pot painting last year, which was super fun. So I think in general, it's just a really good gathering space. It's also, if you preferred more like individual work, it's just a really good, chill, quiet study space.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially during final season, I utilize the like private study rooms that you can book over a period of time, which is pretty simple. It's through a link, and normally you just put your name and UID down, and then you have that room reserved to you, and you can share it with whoever else you want. But there's normally a whiteboard, which is super helpful during organic chemistry and those classes that require you to kind of write your thoughts out a little bit more. So it was nice to have a space that was so close to my dorm, that I was able to go to sit down and, focus for a decent amount of time without all the background noise, because the doors, you're able to close them. So you're in a little closed off room.
I agree. I think the classrooms are really nice. They allow for a lot of collaboration during classes. It's easy to go to faculty down there if you ever have any questions or need anything with like 4-year plans or that kind of thing. And then, yeah, there also are really nice study spaces. And last semester at Reading Day, which is the day before finals, I went to a Reading Day reset where they had like Panera and everything. So it's a really good way to meet other people in UH too.
And everybody mentioned really good events that SLC organizes. So, question, given UH is the largest honors program, are there challenges with registering for classes?
I can also answer that. I would say some of the more popular clusters, if you don't have as many credits as others, you might have a little bit of a challenge, especially getting into the required course in that cluster. So, it's not impossible by any means. It's just you might have to kind of rearrange what order you want to take your classes in. And what I mean by that is, there are some semesters where I was planning on taking that required course, but instead I needed to hold off on that course and start a different cluster, while I wait to gain more credits to be able to take the required course in that cluster to complete it. With that being said, though, it is important that you plan out your scheduling so that you are able to complete a cluster before it expires. And I assume that if you do have trouble getting into that required course and your cluster is going to expire, there may be some ways that faculty is able to help you finish that cluster, because obviously it would be unfortunate if you weren't able to finish it before the time that it expires.
Mr. Middleton, did you want to add to any of that?
Yes, I can. That was good. That was a great answer. We're always flexible when we can be. You know, oftentimes for whatever reason, if a student is in a position where they're coming up on the end of a cluster, we'll find a way, um, along with faculty, to make it work for them. So, thank you, Kat.
There's a question about clarifying the paths, and I think it's a good way to help give some more information regarding the clusters and tracks. So to clarify, does UH allow us to build our own path based on our interests rather than a specific set of courses like other LLPs? If so, can you share some examples and the potential benefits? I'll say it one more time. Does UH allow us to build our own path based on our interests rather than a specific set of courses like other LLPs?
Yeah, I can answer this one. So one of the reasons that I chose UH was because I was able to build my own path and choose what courses I wanted to take. Having the option of 4 different clusters plus the theory tracks, you really get to choose what you're most interested in out of all the options presented to you. So rather than it feeling like another requirement of some courses you have to take. It's more of an opportunity of I'm being open to all these new courses and I can take what I find most interesting. Um, and additionally, in the 100 course, you kind of get to choose your own path in terms of you have small assignments where you're able to tailor the class to yourself. So whether that was making an elevator pitch about myself that I could later use in interviews or creating a handshake, which is kind of like a LinkedIn profile. Um, those are more tailored to you. And lastly, in Vantage Point Seminar, which is the last course you take, like Catherine said, you're allowed to choose any subject you want. So if I remember correctly, Catherine, you were in my Vantage Point seminar, and she did one where she was preparing to present like cattle for Maryland Day, and I did something where I made my own cookbook with recipes that I could use with my roommates for this year. So really, I would say you have a lot of flexibility, not only in what courses you take, but in your courses, what kind of projects and research you take on.
We are coming up on some time, so I'll ask a couple more questions. What are some fun activities, events that UH cohorts participate in for connecting with others in the program? So I'll start. Every year, we have at least last 2 years, we have a ropes course. So it's an opportunity, and we break it by house. So it's an opportunity for the people in the houses to get to know each other a little bit more. We always invite faculty, which are usually your gateway professors, to come, and a lot of times they do. It's there's icebreakers as well as conquering the Alpine Tower. That's a way. Again, through the SLC events, and we are trying to make more of an effort to make sure that those that have completed our citations and maybe juniors and seniors still find a way to connect with us and guide the freshmen and sophomores, right? I think a lot of that tends to naturally happen through PALS. So PALS is a good way for some upperclassmen to connect with the freshmen and sophomores. But those are some of the things that we do. If anybody else wants to add.
I can add a
Yeah.
couple. So this is more so from the University Honors Student Board section. But some of the events that we've recently hosted that are more informal and less academic based are events with the staff. So this past last week we did Breakfast with Blotty, where essentially we got Panera for everybody. You would RSVP and then you can come and enjoy food and learn more about who Blotty is as a person and not just the director. He's not scary. He's a person just like us. So it's nice to get to know the staff that work within UH a little bit more. And then last semester we did Snacks with Staff, which is kind of the same format, except without it being, just Dr. Blotty. We had some of the other staff come and some of the professors, and we had snacks there, and students could just stop by and communicate, whatever they had on their mind. Again, super informal events and more so just for students to get to know the faculty within UH. And, they're people just like us.
Yeah, adding on to that, I can talk a little bit more about Student Life Council because I'm in Student Life Council. Over the past, last semester, we hosted many different events. For instance, we did decorate a cupcake where you can come into the Commons and pick a cupcake and decorate it with your friends. We also did, I think it's been mentioned before, Reading Day Reset, where we served Panera breakfast, and we laid out different toys and different things that students can pick up to make their own goodie bags. We also had an event called Thankful Thursday during Thanksgiving last year, which was really fun. We were able to decorate different Thanksgiving ornaments and things like that, and we were able to watch a movie as well. So I think in terms of student life council, I feel like we're more event based. And for me personally, it's been really fun having the opportunity to not only plan the events, but also attend them and also invite other people, UH students to do so as well.
Okay, looks like it might be the last question. Can you please talk about the H versions of courses? For example, calculus. Do these count towards the required credits or do you need to take 2 clusters? So the
Yeah, I
questions.
can answer this one. So the H versions of classes don't count towards your clusters, so those don't really relate to sort of the pathway you need to do to complete UH. However, I would recommend them. I've taken 3. They're great opportunities to sort of take a more classes, a little more enrichment, a little more engaging, and then you'll see actually a fair amount of overlap. Some of the people I met in my honors accounting, my H-level accounting course, I realized were also in my some of my UH cluster classes, and then I ended up getting really close with them over sort of those crossing over. So while they don't count, I would definitely recommend them if you have the opportunity to take them.
Last one. How does UH allow research opportunities?
I can touch on that one a bit. So, I actually did start a part-time position in a research lab on campus last semester. And personally, I found it very, very easy since UH is so flexible, especially to balance stuff that I'm doing for that research position. And also my classes, my curriculum, working towards my citation and my vantage point. Outside of that, besides formal research opportunities like working in a lab or internships and things like that, like we mentioned before, there are a lot of really great opportunities to build research skills themselves within the classes. And even beyond that, since a lot of these topics or a lot of the classes in the clusters are a lot of these professors' research interests. So I would also say that the classes themselves, especially the smaller ones where you can get to know your professor more, are a really great opportunity to just get to know people who might be interested in a field of research that you might be interested in, or even outside of your major, things like that.
Great points. At the very least, get to know our faculty because they can link you up with someone on campus. That is, I think those are all the questions. We have had the pleasure of having you here and being present for you guys to answer your questions. If I can ask one of my colleagues to put in the UH email, if you have any questions, concerns, any more individual questions about yourself, you can go ahead and contact us there. Happy to answer any questions that you may have. You could also follow us on Instagram. A lot of our information goes out there. And is there anything else I'm missing? Dr. Blotty, Mr. Middleton, Chelsea? No?
I think we covered a lot of ground. I saw some questions about, well, does everybody who, preferences UH get in? And I would put that question back on you. I mean, you've heard about the opportunities that the program offers, and that's really what we're looking for in this phase of the admission cycle. We're trying to find folks who want to explore the opportunities that we make available, who want to make the most of the flexibility that we provide. Those are the students who get the most out of the program that we offer, and I really encourage you to explore the website, get a flavor for the array of opportunities that are there to be had. No one student does them all. That's not the kind of program we are. We're a program where you chart your way in ways that align with your passions, and we are here to help you realize the potential that you come to us with. So if that feels like the sort of opportunity that you want, then I think we're a program for you. So I hope you'll explore that site, get to know us better, and reach out with any questions that you've got as you move through the preferencing process.
I will hand it back to Chantel.
Thank you guys. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you to our UH staff, and also our UH ambassadors. Thank you for taking time out to help us tonight. Again, if you have any follow-up questions, I put all of the emails in the chat. So for UH specific questions, you have a UH email. If you have admissions related questions, just Honors College general questions, you can contact us at honorsadmissions@umd.edu. And then also just a shameless plug, if you are interested in shadowing one of our lovely ambassadors for a day, if you're in town, you can request, we call it a host a day. So you can fill out the request form that I put in the chat, so we can see if we can get you paired up with someone so you can see how campus is, get a feel for not just honors, but also UMD as a whole. But yeah, that's about it. This is being recorded, just a reminder, and I will be sending out emails to all admitted students with all of these recordings by the end of the week so that you can go back and check out all the different programs, like Dr. Blatty said, really research which ones you're most interested in, and do not forget to complete your preference form by February 19th. It does not commit you to the university. I can't stress that enough. It does not commit you to the university at all. It doesn't even commit you to honors, but it allows us internally to make sure that we're getting back to you all the information that you need so that you can make an educated decision whether UMD and the Honors College is the right choice for you prior to the May 1st confirmation deadline. So that is about it. Thank you again for joining us. Everyone, have a great night.
Thank you. Have a good night,
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye.